Roy Halston Frowick, better known simply as Halston, is a name that resounds through the annals of fashion history. Forever linked with the sleek, minimalist elegance of American style in the 1970s. Halston's rise to prominence in the world of fashion came at a time when American designers were beginning to break free from European dominance and assert their influence on the global fashion scene. His legacy is defined not only by his innovative designs and iconic aesthetic, but also by his embodiment of the spirit of the era, the carefree yet glamorous American lifestyle of the late 20th century. Through his vision and work, Halston would come to define a generation of fashion and revolutionize the industry. Born on April 23, 1932, in Des Moines, Iowa, Halston was the son of a working-class family. His early life was marked by a love for art and design, which would later manifest in his career. Halston's talent for fashion design began to surface during his childhood, and by the time he was in high school, he was already interested in the world of fashion. After graduating from high school, he moved to Chicago to study at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. His artistic background, which was more grounded in the fine arts than in the formal fashion world, played a crucial role in shaping the unique aesthetic he would become known for. Halston initially studied graphic design before shifting his focus to fashion. His first job in the fashion world was working as a milliner at the prestigious salon of the New York department store, Bergdorf Goodman. His designs quickly gained attention for their clean lines and innovative approach to classic styles. Halston's signature style began to emerge, simple, elegant, and always aiming to make the wearer feel both modern and glamorous. In the early 1960s, Halston began to gain significant attention for his work as a milliner, particularly for his hats, which became incredibly popular with socialites and celebrities. His big break came when Jacqueline Kennedy, the First Lady, chose one of his hats for her husband's presidential inauguration in 1961. This moment catapulted Halston into the spotlight, and he soon became known as the designer of choice for women looking for stylish yet accessible luxury. By the mid-1960s, Halston transitioned from millinery to designing ready-to-wear fashion, and by 1968, he launched his first complete women's collection. His move into clothing marked the beginning of his rise as a fashion icon. His designs were characterized by clean geometric lines, luxurious fabrics, and a focus on simplicity, drawing inspiration from art, architecture, and the modern world around him. Halston's creations were wearable and comfortable, often crafted from jersey, velvet, and satin, fabrics that allowed the clothing to flow and move with the body. One of Halston's key innovations was his use of luxurious materials in easy-to-wear designs, allowing women to achieve a sophisticated, effortless look. His designs spoke to the growing desire for comfort and ease, qualities that would define the fashion trends of the late 1960s and early 1970s. The 1970s were a pivotal decade for Halston. During this time, he rose to prominence as the preeminent American designer, dominating the fashion scene in New York and becoming known for his minimalist, yet highly glamorous designs. He became the embodiment of the sophisticated, liberated woman of the 1970s, and his collections exuded the relaxed yet chic ethos of the era. As I told, Halston's designs were characterized by clean, unstructured silhouettes that celebrated freedom of movement. His creations often emphasized simplicity over ornate detailing, with flowing fabrics like jersey, silk, and chiffon being central to his collections. His most iconic pieces included his easy draped dresses, halter necklines, and the famous Halston wrap dress, which became a symbol of both comfort and glamour. The wrap dress, which debuted in 1973, was groundbreaking because it allowed women to be both stylish and practical, challenging the conventions of more structured, formal attire. Halston's minimalistic aesthetic was a direct response to the excess and opulence that had dominated the fashion world during the 1960s. He embraced the idea of creating clothes that were sophisticated but not overly adorned. His designs were modern and timeless, with a focus on clean lines and luxurious fabrics. Halston's creations were also influential because they were accessible to a wide range of women. His ready-to-wear collections were not just for the elite, but for anyone who could afford his designs. Halston's ability to create clothing that was both chic and comfortable attracted a long list of celebrity clients, from the likes of Elizabeth Taylor to Bianca Jagger. He was particularly known for his collaborations with the entertainment world, and many of his designs became synonymous with Hollywood glamour. His friendship with the likes of Liza Minnelli and Andy Warhol further solidified his position within the celebrity culture of the 1970s. Liza Minnelli, one of Halston's most famous clients, was often seen in his designs on stage and off. Their friendship and professional relationship helped to shape Halston's public image as the designer of choice for the fashionable and famous. Minnelli was frequently photographed wearing Halston's iconic wrap dresses and gowns, which helped cement his position as one of the top American designers of the time. Halston's work with celebrities played a significant role in shaping his legacy and establishing his name as a brand. Warhol's influence on Halston was profound, and the two collaborated on several occasions, with Warhol capturing images of Halston's work. Their relationship was emblematic of the symbiotic relationship between the fashion world and the art world during the 1970s. Warhol's pop art sensibilities matched Halston's minimalist designs, and both men were deeply invested in the notion of celebrity culture. Halston's success as a designer extended beyond just the creation of fashion. In the 1970s, he made significant strides in expanding his business into a full-fledged brand. His line of clothing became a status symbol for the modern chic woman, and Halston's name became synonymous with luxury and elegance. In 1973, Halston entered into a licensing agreement with the JCPenney company, making his designs available to a broader audience. This move was groundbreaking because it brought high-fashion designs to the mass market, making Halston's creations accessible to a larger demographic. This move was one of the first instances of a high-end designer embracing mass-market retail, and it was both groundbreaking and controversial. Some critics felt that Halston was compromising his luxury status, but others saw it as a brilliant business move that democratized fashion and made it more accessible to the public. The licensing agreement with JCPenney also allowed Halston to expand his brand into fragrances, eyewear, and home goods, further cementing his status as a cultural icon. By the mid-1970s, Halston's brand was one of the most recognizable in the world, and his designs were worn by some of the most powerful women in society. However, despite his monumental success, Halston's career began to decline in the 1980s, largely due to business mismanagement and the challenges that came with maintaining a luxury brand. The designer struggled with maintaining the integrity of his vision while navigating the complexities of the fashion industry, which was increasingly moving toward a more commercial and mass-market-driven model. Halston was eventually forced out of his own company in 1984 after a series of financial difficulties. His brand was sold to a larger corporation, and while Halston continued to work as a designer, his influence waned, and he was no longer the dominating force in fashion that he once had been. Halston's story is one of both triumph and tragedy. He revolutionized American fashion, breaking down barriers and setting new standards for the industry. His legacy endures through his timeless designs, which continue to influence contemporary fashion, and his contributions to the democratization of high fashion. Halston remains an icon of American style, a designer whose impact resonates far beyond his era.